What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're going to be putting the Rhino RB20 Slim on the TRD Pro here. I'll give you a good look at the install. Very easy to do. That's not going to take long at all. And then we'll we'll get a good look at how they are on the truck clearance wise. We'll take some measurements. We'll give you a really good idea of how these fit and clearances and measurements from the ground up to the bottom of the steps and all that good stuff. So let's jump right into the install. Very simple to do. Anybody can do this in their driveway. Wanted to give you a quick look at everything that comes. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because, again, this is very easy to do, but they do send you different size brackets and everything. So because we got the Slims, what you want to do is, these are the 8 brackets we're going to be using, 4 on each side. What you want to do to make sure you're using the right ones, as you can see, there's some that are bigger, or longer I should say, than others. For the Slims, we're going to be using, I guess, the medium size. There's shorter ones over there. And the way to make sure you have the right ones, I'll bring you over here to the step. What we're going to be doing is you have to take this piece, once we get to this part of the installation, you're going to be putting it inside the step like this, and then you have to turn it sideways like that. So those longer ones I showed you, they would not fit in here. The shorter ones would be too short. All right, so just make sure you're using the right brackets. 4 on each side for our Tundras, and we're going to be using the medium size. Quick correction, you will need one of the shorter brackets for the attachment point that's closest to the rear of the truck. You'll see what I mean when we get these things on, but you'll use 3 of the standard size or medium size that I showed you, 1 of the shorter ones per side. Step 1 is to remove the 12mm factory bolts. Again, on our Tundras, there's going to be 4 different mounting locations. The front location is right here. When you get up underneath, we're on the passenger side of the truck right now. It's these 2 bolts right here. You can't miss them once you get up underneath your truck. You'll see this single bolt here. You're not going to touch any bolt that is by itself. So these 2 are the front location. And then you're just going to move down the rocker panel, or the underneath of the truck here. And you can't miss the other spots. This is the next spot right here. And then there's 2 more locations going towards the rear of the truck. This is the 3rd set of 12mm bolts. And then here's the 4th. All right, so remove all 8 of those bolts, 12mm, and set those aside. You're not going to need them for the install. Now, when you're looking at your brackets, 4 on each side, the front one is going to look like this. You can see how up here at the top, it's got a little bit of an angle to it. This is the part that's going to go up underneath the truck. The bottom part down here is what the step is going to connect to. And there will be a driver and a passenger side. That will matter. I'll show you when we get up underneath the truck. And then the other 3 for the 2 middle connections and the rear connection, these brackets are all the same. Okay, so you're going to get 3 that look identical. But again, there are correct ones for the driver and passenger, so it'll make more sense when we get up underneath the truck. As far as the hardware goes, for our Tundras, these are the bolts we're going to be using. All right, give you a good look at them, because they do send you a ton of extra hardware, so don't get confused. These are really the only bolts you're going to need for this entire installation. All right, so we're in the front location on the passenger side, the first spot that we took the 12mm bolts out of, this spot here. All you're going to do is take the front bracket that, again, has this angle on it. You can see how it's not straight across. It has this little bit of a bend in it. That's how you know it's the front bracket. The other 3 are going to look identical as well, so that's another way to tell it apart. Now, as I mentioned, there is a driver and a passenger side. So what you want to make sure when you put these brackets on, see how there's an L right here? You want this L to be facing the rear of the truck. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So if you went to put this on the driver's side, the L would be facing the front of the truck. That's incorrect. You want it to be like this. Okay, so this L is facing the rear. All right, and then we're simply just going to take these bolts that I showed you. These are 13mm heads, so you're going to need a 13mm ratchet, and you're just going to loosely attach the brackets to the underside of the truck. Don't tighten these down just yet. You want them loose until we get the steps put on for final adjustment, because as you're going to see, these steps are adjustable front to back, and you could actually move them in or out further away from the vehicle as you wish. So just make sure they're loosely attached. We're going to go ahead and repeat this process all the way down the passenger side in all 4 locations where we remove those factory bolts. And I'll show you what the next step is. Again, just make sure all connections are loose at this point, and just make sure this L is facing the rear of the truck. All right, so here's the first bracket, second, third. Before we put the 4th one on, just one other thing I want to point out to make sure you're getting these on in the correct orientation. You can see how one side right here is shorter or smaller than the other. The shorter side is the side that's going to go up underneath the truck. Okay, so the bigger side is what you want hanging out underneath. Now that all 4 brackets are on there loosely, you're just going to take your step and set it on top of the 4 brackets. Now, again, there is a driver and a passenger side, so you want to make sure the Go Rhino label is in the rear or towards the rear of the truck. Okay, so just loosely set it up here on all 4 brackets. Now all we have to do is take our U-bolts and get them up underneath there to attach the steps to the brackets. I've already started the middle 2 just so this thing didn't fall on my head as I'm trying to show you this. But what I meant earlier in the video when I said you need the one smaller one, if you look at the running board, even these are the slim version as I mentioned, but you can see in the rear they kind of narrow in a little bit. That's why you're going to need the smaller or the shortest U-plate, I guess it's called, for the last mounting location down there. All right, so all you got to do is take your, actually let me get down on the ground here and I'll be able to give you a little bit better of a look. All right, so we're up in the front on the passenger side. You can see there's our first mounting location. So all you're going to do is take your U-plate in this orientation with the U facing up, and you're going to put it up in the channel underneath the step and get it on top of your mounting bracket. And you can see that there's slotted openings in the mounting bracket. So all you're going to do is take 2 more of the same bolts, 13mm, put them up through there and start screwing into the U-plate. Obviously the U-plate has the 2 holes right there you can see that you're going to screw into. And again, make everything, do this in all 4 locations, just do them loose for right now, and then I'll show you how you can adjust these side to side, front to back. All right, so here's why you want all of those connections loose. These things have a lot of adjustability, front to back, side to side. So you can see how much you can maneuver these things around to get them exactly where you want them. I like them kind of pushed all the way into the truck, in tight to the truck, and then as far as front to back, I'm basically just going to kind of step back and center them with my doors, but I definitely like the look of them better in close, in tight to the truck, just to keep them kind of compact. So I'm going to stand back, get them centered with the doors, and then we'll get everything tightened down. All right, so once you have them right where you want them, you want to tighten the bolts underneath first. So go ahead and tighten all 4 locations, all 8 bolts, and then once they're tightened down, then go back up underneath the truck and tighten down the bolts that are holding the entire thing to the underneath of the truck. All right, so do it in that order. Tighten these out here first and then go up under and tighten all those. There is no torque spec listed. I'm just going to make sure they're good and snug. So I don't have an exact torque spec. I looked, there's none listed for it. So all right, get them tightened down where you want them, and we are done with the install. We'll give you a good final look, and we'll take a couple measurements with these as far as clearance from the ground. All right guys, there we go. Everything is tightened up. Give you a good look at how they look on the truck. I definitely like them. They're nice, and I do like the fact, I'm glad I went with the slim version. Keeps them, you know, more compact into the truck. I'll step back, give you a side profile, see how they look there. I don't know if these are going to be my permanent solution. Not going to lie, I think I'm actually going to go with an actual slider, because we are going to do some off-roading with this truck. And you know, I like these. They look good. They're nice and compact. I just think I'm going to go with an actual slider for the protection. So when we get into a little bit more heavy-duty off-roading, you know, we'll have that extra step of protection underneath the rocker panel there. All right, so give you a quick look there. And then we'll wrap the video up, take a couple measurements for you. And you can see we do have 35s on here. That's just something to keep in mind when we take these measurements. We actually just got the 35s put on, but give you a nice little walk around, see how they look there. All right, let's take some measurements for clearance, and we'll wrap the video up. All right, so driver side in the rear from ground to the bottom of the bracket, you can see there, looks like about 12.5 inches or so, give or take. And we're on pretty level ground right now. It's not, I wouldn't say it's completely level, but it's pretty darn close. So it gives you an idea to the bottom of the brackets. And then to the bottom of the steps themselves, it looks like about just over 14.5. You can see it there. Here's a good look at how they stick out. Actually, I'll get tucked right up against the truck here, and you can see they are they're tucked in pretty good. I definitely like that. The standard version just sticks out a little bit further. I'll put the dimensions on the screen. I can't remember exactly how much further, but these are tucked up there nice and neat. It just looks nice and compact. I do like that. Even though they are tucked in, when you open the door, you can see there's still plenty of room to step. I mean, I can easily step on there and get up in the truck. So yeah, definitely like these. Don't think they're going to be my permanent solution, but I like them. We'll give you a look here in the rear, because again, it does kind of narrow in a little bit in the rear. So I'll get tucked up against the truck here. You can get a look. All right, same thing in the rear though. I've already tested it out. Open the door, you have plenty of room to step on there and get up in the truck. All right, so there's a good look at the Go Rhino RB20 Slim version on the 22 TRD Pro. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Very easy install, as you saw. And you know, if you're looking for something compact but yet sturdy as can be, they don't budge when I step on them. I'm 220 pounds, so I'm a decent sized guy. You know, I definitely recommend them. I'm not sure they're going to be my permanent solution, but they are a nice step, and I do like the way they look. So if you have any questions on the install or anything else on them, let me know. Put them down below. We'll get them addressed for you. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.